Bless up, King Kevin in the building, baby. How you doing? I'm here today to share a little bit about me, and I hope all is well with you and your families, from your spirit, your mind, your body, and all that good stuff. In my lifetime, I've been able to overcome quite a bit, which I'm going to talk about in this video. But one of the most important things I'm going to talk about is how did I go from being an underdog to being an eagle? What I mean by that is, how did I go from someone who didn't believe in themselves, always felt like a loser, to someone who is overly confident and have this innate power within himself to accomplish anything that I place my mind to? It's because I had a mental makeover, which many of you need to do that immediately. As a matter of fact, you cannot afford not to pay attention to this video. In fact, if you feel that what I'm saying is real, if you feel as if there's people in your life that can benefit from this message that I'm giving and about to give, please share this video, text, email, social media, however you get down, and definitely give a thumbs up and subscribe. This is going to be real. I grew up South Florida. My mom and my father, notice I said father, I didn't say dad. I was raised by my mother, Queen Rosette Pierre, who passed away back in 2008, so rest in peace. Great woman, lived an awesome life. You know, she was born and raised, and my father, they were both from Okap, which is Cap Haitien, northern part of Haiti, the home of the revolutionaries. And I talk about this in my story, many videos I've done, and also the book that you see right behind me, which is The Courage to Believe, which is an inspirational autobiography. All I seen growing up was killings. Killings, drug deals, prostitutions, robberies, domestic violence, child molestations, sexual assaults, police brutality, gunshots, battles, fights, everything negative. And if it wasn't for my mom and raising us up in the church, we were able to escape the hood at least twice a week. You know, weekday service and then Sunday service. She was a great singer. She's a beautiful woman. Those of you who've seen her pictures that I posted sometimes on Instagram. And I don't get sad when I think about it because she did a great job. I mean, she literally lived her life and made sure that me and my siblings, there's 5 of us, I'm the second born king of 5, that we have the best life that we could afford. Many times the bills were short. We didn't have water. We didn't have light. It was very rare that we had both running consistently. In fact, there was one time when we even stole some water from my neighbors. Now, they probably would have gave us the water for free. You know, we grabbed buckets and just went and filled up the buckets with water and took our baths sometimes. And it was just real like that in the projects. That's where I come from. That's why I don't just waste water when I'm brushing my teeth or washing dishes. Some people get aggravated when I tell them to shut off the water because I just remember those days when water was not in abundance like that. I don't throw food away. I pray over every meal. I pray before I walk out the door. I appreciate life and all its blessings. I didn't think I could go to college. I didn't think I can be productive. As a matter of fact, I thought I would die by the age of 25, 26, because that's the age range that most black men die or go to prison. Tupac died, and Biggie died, and Soulja Slim died. These 3 artists, prominent rap artists, died at the age of 25, 26 years old. I never understood why life could be cut so short. These guys had the whole world in front of them. Even though these were entertainers, I knew that, or just had in my mindset, that I would die young as well. Just recently, Pop Smoke died in mid-February, February 19th, if I'm not mistaken, New York rapper, very promising future, doing big things in music business, and even had a movie deal on the table where he just got paid and was acting in, for the role, rehearsing for the role. Nipsey Hussle died a year ago in March 2019. He was 34. Pop Smoke was 20. Death and destruction just seems to have so much power in the grasp of black men in our community. We don't think, we just act. We are reactionary. We think that smoking weed and smoking sherm and popping this and popping that and throwing our money in the clubs and rocking Jordans and Christian Dior's and Fendi and Gucci, like that's life, that gives us value. And it doesn't. And we have our parents to blame. They put their self-hatred, they put their lack of confidence, depression on us. How is it that a young man values his shoes more than he values his life? He knows more about how many Jordans they are, and not hating on Jordan, the fact that so many black kids worship these shoes as if they're idols. They know more about these expensive pair of shoes than how to do multiplication. They can't name one African president or one African country outside of Egypt. And I can say the same thing about our queens, overemphasizing their butts, their breasts, their self-value systems are all twisted. My value system was twisted. Going back to my life, I ended up selling some drugs, a few robberies. I'm not proud of it. As a matter of fact, every time I was selling crack cocaine or powder, I felt as if a piece of my soul was leaving me. Sell your soul. It is not worth it. I ended up spending some time in jail, spending about a year in jail. I avoided prison for attempted robbery case back in 2001. I was 21 at the time. I'm 40 years old now. So from 21 to 40 was a very long journey. When I was in the jailhouse, I realized something needed to change. The way I was thinking, my mentality. I knew I needed a mental makeover because things was just not working. I was losing, and I hate losing. I even contemplated suicide before I got locked up. So it was no surprise to me that I allowed my environment to determine where and what I was going to do. That is why we have to be very careful about our environment. So instead of focusing on the negative things in my life, which were a lot, I wanted to put an emphasis on the positive things. So what I did was I grabbed a piece of paper just like this, and I wrote on the paper the positives in my life and the negatives. And guess which side outweighed the other? The negatives was literally way down the sheet. Way down. And the positive wasn't even half. And I remember before I had turned myself in, my mom asked me a question way before I had to, deal with doing the time. Do I love myself? And she asked me that question at that time. I had dreadlocks or locks, and my eyes were bloodshot red from smoking a whole lot of weed. I was smoking a whole lot of weed at the time. It was just part of the lifestyle. You smoke weed, you get with different chicks, you drink till you faint, you ball till you fall. These are the things we are taught as black men to honor and worship and value, and it's destroying us. Literally destroying us. So when I wrote this list, it made me really think really deep about who I was and where I was going with my life. So I vowed to myself to go back to school. So I ended up going to college, graduating in 2005 with a bachelor's in political science and marketing from Florida Atlantic University. I also wanted to get back into football because I miss playing football. So I played one season at FAU. Actually, it was just a summer program that I was in, summer or spring, something like that. But I just wanted to test it out, to play at the collegiate level, which was a blessing because I ran track and played football all my life. And then I was going to start a business, in which I started my clothing line, One Man Army Inc. It was and One Woman Army, which sold a lot. I was selling T-shirts and for men and women out of my trunk. I mean, I sold a lot. Even a couple NFL players bought my shirts, which I was very proud of. And to be able to speak to them and they called me to place an order, it was a blessing to put effort into your dream. Because we really don't have to sell crack or rob to make a living. As black people, we are geniuses. You see the statue behind me? The pharaoh right there? And the one right there? These two pharaohs. At that time, we were at our right minds. Before the colonization of the motherland of Africa. They seen how efficient and productive and successful and how much of a genius we were. And how much we revered and honored the black woman as mother gods, queens of the universe. How much we protected them. And they were the source of our power. When we stopped doing that, because they forced us to stop doing that, that's when the game was over for us. Because they were the source of our wisdom. Infinite, divine wisdom. And so if you destroy and degrade the very source of your energy and wisdom and power, there's no way you will succeed. And this is what we see today in our rap music and movies. Even in our neighborhoods, we see women getting beat up and slapped and punched, cursed out and be this and hold that they don't even believe in themselves. That they accept being beat up. It's the mental makeover that is needed. How do you go from negative to positive? How did I graduate college? First of all, that was and to this day, the greatest achievement I've ever accomplished. And I've accomplished quite a bit. The reason why I say it was the greatest was because I was facing an investigation because of my association of certain people. I hung around real killers, real dope dealers, people that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms agencies, were investigating. And so they were trying to connect me to certain homicides and certain robberies and drug deals. And I'm facing this. On top of that, I was almost killed my junior year as a victim of black-on-black crime. Some people don't believe black-on-black crime even exists. Trust me, it does. You're looking at a victim of black-on-black crime, more like a victor. But evaluating my life and knowing what I wanted to do and what I had to do and having the right people in my environment, such as Mrs. Livingston or Mrs. White, my mom, Mr. Everett, Mr. Dudley, mentored, planted seeds earlier on in my life. And those who were at that point of impact where I could have went either way. You see, just because we are raised in single father homes doesn't mean it's too late. Doesn't mean that our life is over. We can turn that negative energy, those negative feelings, into something positive. Focus those negative energies, those feelings of depressions and alienation towards your dreams and goals. Because it is very powerful when you can transform that negative energy into something positive. Just refocus it towards the things you want to accomplish. So if you're crying because you're hurt and you feel abandonment from your father, your sperm donor, it's good to cry because those feelings keep you real. But don't cry too long. Use that sad energy and work on your projects. Work on your dreams. Meditate. Meditate. Meditate on the things you want to accomplish and use those feelings towards them. Write your dreams down. Write your goals down. Speak them into existence. Speak them every day until you have them memorized. I myself read my journal once a day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I don't think I've ever done it more than 4 times, but I read it so much that I have my dreams and goals memorized. There are 67 goals in my dream book. I've been able to accomplish 23 of them. And I still repeat the ones that I have accomplished. Why is that? Because repeating even my past victories it reminds me of how far I've come along. And that same energy of those victories of my past, I use it in my present to determine my future. Our attitudes has a lot to do with the way we think of ourselves and our disposition in life. If you have the wrong attitude, even from the start of your day, from the very start of your day, when you get up in the morning, say, thank you, God. Thank you, the Creator. Thank you for blessing me with life. Thank you for blessing me with breath, to be able to see the sunrise and the birds chirp in my ear. Those guys in prison can't see that. See, the hip-hop industry is run by Jewish people who pay millions of dollars to make sure we continue to degrade ourselves, especially our black queens. They spend millions of dollars and push these rappers, these big rappers that we hold so dear to our hearts. They pay them millions upon millions because they're influencers. They know that the youth will listen and communicate through music. So they put these spells and curses in the music to get us to become suicidal and homicidal. Did you know that from the age of 5 to 11, black boys are committing suicide higher than any other race? From 5 to 11, they are killing themselves, trying to live what they see on these rap videos, trying to live what they're hearing on their iTunes and on YouTube. Depressed because their fathers are not there. And the society is making black men feel as if they're irrelevant. But it's all part of the New World Order. If you see my video about the New World Order and the Roman circus, and you know what I'm talking about. This is real, ladies and gentlemen. We have to unite. Black kings, we need to change the way we think so that we can strategize and fight. We are warriors, just like in the times of the pharaohs, just like in the times of Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and Henry Christophe. We are natural-born warriors. But the problem is, we don't know who we're supposed to fight, so we fight each other. We kill each other. Black-on-black crime is so high that since 1970 to about 2018, over 280,000 black men have killed each other. I know we did a situation with white on black crime. I know that. But the numbers of police and white folks killing us is nowhere near the numbers of us killing us. It has a lot to do with the death music, what they call drill music in Chicago, but the death music that we are promoting and putting into our ears. Many of us, if we want to be truth about it, be true, we are weak-minded, easily manipulated. You take these actors and rappers away from the recording studio, away from their music, and away from their tattoos and gold teeth, you have a shadow of a man. Because they are hiding behind those tattoos and them drugs and weed. That's what they're doing to avoid seeing the real self. The suicide rate is so high amongst our young kids, I felt as if it was my duty before I check out this world, before I die, to do something about it. So I started writing a book, and it turned out to be something a little different, not just towards our young black boys, but to people in general who are giving up in life, who are checking out through suicide. And by the way, they're committing suicide through gunshots to the head or strangulation. This ought not be so. We have so much great things about us. And if we took the time to exchange those negative thoughts and those negative experiences with positive things like our dreams, our goals, our graduations, the love that we have in our lives, and those who are lucky and blessed enough to have real love in their lives, to replace those toxic ideas with those positive ones and surround ourselves with good things or good images like the beach or a park or looking at some trees, and not the trees you smoke, the trees you look at that has green leaves on a branch and squirrels running up and down them and bees flying around them. Find something positive. Read some positive books. This book here, The Courage to Believe, is definitely a good read. A positive one. It will show you that how I pulled myself from the bootstraps and refused to give up and how I fought day and night to study, even while I'm ducking the police with warrants and things of that nature. Because I understood that if I am able to be a success, that my siblings and my community will be inspired to be a success as well. That they will strive to go to college. They will strive to start a business. They will strive to do something great for themselves and for their children's children. We must have a mental makeover. My book, The Winner in the Mirror, that is coming out this summer, look out for that. It's called The Winner in the Mirror, activating your mind, body, and spirit. Activating your superpowers, those natural powers that we are given. But society, through its music, through entertainment, through the news, that is placing these negative, cantankerous thoughts in our minds, are degrading or causing our brains to regress. Because your brain doesn't automatically progress. It doesn't automatically want to move forward. You have to be willing to control your brain and your mind. Because if you don't, the powers that be will continue to do so through their clever ways. Which we all know, the Jewish families, like I mentioned, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, these type of people. They own all the media, all the TV stations, all the radio stations. They own these things, and they write these checks for these rappers to keep putting out this death music. I was just listening to Pandora, and I put on my Instagram about it. 4 rappers back to back to back, and I just mentioned 3 of them. First one, Biggie Smalls, Pop Smoke, Nipsey Hussle, and then Tupac. All these brilliant black men, and some of them, Tupac and Pop Smoke, were actors as well. Died, early age, would never see life again. But we can change it if we choose to. Let's choose to watch our words. Let's choose what we're listening to and think about what we're thinking. Your brain is here to work for you. We have over 200 billion brain cells. 200 billion brain cells that we can utilize for our benefit instead of for our destruction. Speak words of affirmation, not just to you, but to me, to her, to him. We have the power to speak life. Our ancestors, back in Kemet and Kush, and Mali and Dahomey, and the Zulu nations, they understood that they were gods having a human experience. You are a god. You are a goddess. My black queens and kings. Believe in yourselves. And know that all things are possible for those that truly believes in them. Don't buy into all this hype that they're putting out here on the news and social media. I don't care what it looks like. It doesn't matter what it looks like. You are greater than any disease or virus. I am greater because I know my self-worth. But if we keep putting our self-worth into materialistic things, then we will never move forward as a people. Because as we know, or at least some of us do, we have to unite or we will die. All these other nations are uniting. And we have to unite. Unite spiritually, unite economically, supporting each other's businesses, starting business, investing with each other, reaching out to our brothers and sisters in Africa, closing that gap like Marcus Garvey always wanted. We have to make this a reality. Uniting physically. We can't keep protesting and marching. That is paid out. We shall overcome was sung in the 60s, the 50s. We're in 2020 right now. We can't keep singing these same songs and keep doing the same things expecting a different outcome. We must do something different. And we must be our brothers and sisters keepers. It is not over until you quit. And truth be told, I don't know how to quit. And I will not stop giving these messages. I will not stop asking you to share my videos, to comment. Let's have a dialogue. Let's network. Let's exchange emails, phone numbers, whatever it takes. We have to save ourselves. Because there's too many of our black men dying. There's too many of us in prisons. And too many of us are committing suicide. We have to have a mental makeover, and we will be great again. Because not our cars, not our degrees, not our clothes, not our shoes, not our businesses, not our girlfriends or wives, not even our children are the most valuable things we have. The most valuable possession we have is our brain. With our brain, we can conceptualize any and everything and make them into a reality, positive and negative. I just hope that we use it for the positive. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is King Kevin Dorival, the author of The Courage to Believe, Never Give Up, Keep Moving Forward, 7 Types of Queens, King's Desire, and The Win in the Mirror, Activating Your Superpowers, Mind, Body, and Spirit. Please visit my website, kevindorival.com, and it's been a blessing. Have a great one. Be blessed and be safe. Thank you.